Covering the Orioles the only way we know how, as fans. Section 336, the next generation of Baltimore sports talk.
Today on the show, the Orioles have been in first place for 100 days. Buck Showalter is pretty good at getting wins, and this year the trade deadline got a little personal.
Section 336.com. Buckle up, birds, be ready to ride. Your host, Matt Josh and Bird, are ready to fly. Baltimore's best, Section 336, the #1 sports broadcast. Get your fix. What's the news? Let's talk about Buck, our favorite Orioles. What's the latest lineup? Home runs and stolen bases. This is a trip. Stay tuned in at 336.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Section 336. This is episode 175 for August 2nd, and I am joined by Eric from Barstool Sports, Barstool RDT on Twitter. Eric, how's it going?
Good. We're doing all right. You know, got that trade deadline out of the way, so I guess we kind of know who's going to be with us for the rest of the year. But yeah, I've been doing all right.
Oh, I don't think this trade deadline means anything about finishing off who's going to be here.
Well, that's true, but I think we know some of the major pieces.
But yeah, we know. What did we say? We needed an outfielder. We needed a left-handed arm. We somehow got both.
I guess.
Yeah, I know the internet wants Chris Sale, but
for Ryan Flaherty and
right.
Ubaldo, but
right.
that's not.
We're not going to get that. We got some good moves that we'll talk about in a little bit. We've got Dan filling in for the intern today. How's it going, Dan? Oh, Dan's mic's not working. That's my fault, though. I don't know why it's not working. I'll have to bring him in studio later. So, intern probably sabotaged it. But I do want to start out with our Trumbo t-shirts that we keep pushing, that I'm sure you've seen us push online. And they are, as we said the past few weeks, they are now available at all Mother's locations if you want to get a black one. And if you want to get a black or an orange one, you can get them on section336.com. So head on over there and get your Trumbo, Make Baltimore Great Again. And whenever Trumbo hits a home run, the t-shirts go on sale. So if he hits one during the game today, it'll go on sale for the rest of today and tomorrow. So that's what's been going on. Matt is still in Africa. I talked with him a little bit today. It was fun to send him the text message that said Brian Mattis started in Chicago.
And now is no longer employed.
Thankfully, a few seconds later, I could text back, he sucked, and he got DFA'd. But, I mean, still, to work your way for the Cubs to give you a try, it says people don't trust the Orioles. Pitching development.
Maybe the Cubs thought that they were going to get lightning in a bottle twice, and it didn't work out like that.
I mean, lightning in a bottle, I guess Arrieta you can classify as lightning in a bottle. But how about the fact that any Oriole pitcher who leaves pitches well? Gonzalez pitches well for the White Sox. Bud Norris is doing well and turned his career around.
Hamels.
Jim Johnson was being talked about during the trade deadline.
He was player of the week in the NL last week.
I mean, you leave Baltimore and you learn how to pitch.
Cutter.
I wasn't even going to bring up the cutter,
It's
but
the cutter.
Yeah. Some people may say the cutter. But hey, we had a rough series in Toronto. But how big was that win to get on Sunday afternoon? The extra inning, 6-2 win. Yeah,
it was big. I mean, because you kind of got over that hump. I feel like every year there's like a place that's like a house of horrors for Baltimore. It used to be like when they went to Texas to visit the Rangers. It used to be when they would go to Anaheim. They just couldn't beat them no matter what. And I feel like this year and last year it's been Toronto, and they just manhandle the Orioles every time. But that's a huge one. I mean, and just to pound them in extra innings too. You had the Jones home run, which kind of put the exclamation mark on it, and that was awesome to see.
Yeah, but you can say we suck in Toronto, but the whole reason we suck in Toronto is because Toronto's a really good team this year.
Oh, they're very good, and they started out slow, and everyone kind of, they're done. It's going to be a 2-team race, and that's the team that scares me. Boston doesn't really scare me. Toronto, because they can hit. I think their pitching's pretty good, and they added Liriano, and that doesn't really.
No
matter.
one in the AL East has great pitching, but everyone's better than the Orioles pitching.
Probably not the Rays. The teams in contention,
Red
yes.
Sox and Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays, yeah.
The Yankees have given up for the year.
Yeah, they're done.
But were the Yankees the big winners at the trade deadline?
I think so.
Because they got a lot of draft picks.
I think
there are a lot of young guys.
I think the Rangers win the draft or win the trade deadline this year, but looking forward the next 2-3 years, I think the Yankees easily won that just because of all their prospects. I think they have like 6 of the top 50 prospects now. I don't know how many in the top 100, maybe 8 or 9, but they already said that they're going to start calling those guys up soon. Aaron Judge, big hitter down there. Their catcher Sanchez, some guys like that. So 2018, 2019, look out for them. I think the Yankees are going to be back, and I'm not looking too forward to that.
Yeah, ESPN. Did you see the ESPN article today?
I didn't even have to read it just because I was on my timeline, and it was flooding it.
Well, when your first sentence is, picture this, the 2018 Yankees, or 2019, I forget which year. Manny Machado at third, Bryce Harper in center field or whatever.
I think it was Arenado at short, too. I saw in there.
And then, sure, ESPN is they're catering to their market. They're catering to the New York market that sees, all right, my team's given up for this year. I don't need to pay attention to ESPN anymore. So they're clearly saying, hey, look at us. We're going to start looking at how you can still build a super team.
They know what gets the clicks there.
Right.
If someone sees Yankees, Harper, Machado in one sentence, they're going to click on that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, all you complaining that ESPN never pays attention to the Orioles and Manny Machado, there you go.
Yeah, it's
there. That's what you've been asking for.
Yep. You wanted it, now you got it.
Right.
And then now they're complaining that they don't like it.
You want them to pay attention and praise Manny. Saying Manny is going to be a future New York Yankee is a praise for Manny Machado.
That's true, yeah.
It's not a praise for the Orioles, but it's a praise for Manny Machado.
Yeah.
And it's just like the power rankings. You're never happy with the power rankings.
Yeah.
Stop caring what ESPN says.
That's why I get people every week that tweet me. Like I think it was last week. The Orioles, they just beat the Red Sox in a series, and then they swept the Indians, and ESPN put them behind the Red Sox and the Indians in the power rankings. And I had people tweeting me like, "Can you believe this? Can you?" Yeah, I can believe it. It's ESPN. I don't. The power rankings don't mean anything. Like, no. What is that? What do they get? Is that how they get seeded in the playoffs? It doesn't matter. Like that they do that just to get people riled up and so people can get mad on the internet and comment on it and they win.
Yeah, I had this idea last year when the Orioles weren't so good, that I would post Section 336 power rankings every week, always with the Orioles at the top.
Yeah.
So then I just cater straight to the fan base.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's someone's opinion. If they think that the Red Sox are better than the Orioles, okay, that's fine. That doesn't change my thought, my thinking on it.
Cleveland's a really good team. Toronto's a really good team. If they put them ahead, no big deal. Those are good teams. Remember, the Orioles were picked to not have a chance this year for anything.
I think they need 10 more wins to match the Sports Illustrated projection.
Total.
Yeah,
right.
69 wins. That was my favorite. I've tried to tweet that out every few games,
now
keeping the updated win total.
We're gonna break down these trades in a little bit with the Ariel Miranda for Wade Miley, and then Jonah Heim for Steve Pearce. We're gonna actually have Jonah Heim's dad, James Heim, on the phone in a few minutes. The Heim family has been super friendly, this 336, and I wrote my little quick take yesterday, and I put that I haven't had a trade that I look at and that's oh, that's people, not parts to a parts.
It's not a
team.
baseball card. Yeah,
exactly. And so that made it a little hard. Clearly, Steve Pearce makes the Orioles better this year, and I hope that it gives Jonah Heim a chance to kind of get to the majors a little quicker because we have a lot of catchers in the Orioles organization. But I want to first look at the. It's funny. I after we bash ESPN, I want to look back at ESPN.
Let's do it.
Did you see this post by Dan Zimbersky?
Yeah,
Zimborski. He does zip projections and stuff for ESPN.
I saw it. I don't really know what I'm looking at.
All right.
I'm not a big graph and numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's definitely some numbers.
I skimmed through it.
So here's what he did. He took all the teams and their chance of making the playoffs. So I think the Orioles' chance was 58% or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he took what their chances were on Sunday versus Monday. So the trades that they made, how much is that going to affect that team's playoff chances?
Mm-hmm.
And clearly when you're making a move in this time of year, especially if it's a rental, neither of our guys are rentals. They both have options for next year, I believe. I'm not sure about Steve Pearce. I know Wade Miley does.
Pierce may be. I think Pierce was a 1-year deal.
All right. But especially when you go for rentals, like Chapman, Cubs grab Chapman. That's a clear rental.
Yeah.
A few years ago, we got Andrew Miller. That's a clear rental. So the question is, how much does, especially the rental, help you this year win and your playoff chances. And clearly, for a team like the Yankees, they got rid of their best guys, so their playoff chances went down. Now, out of all the teams, so the Cubs, they raised theirs by 0.2%. So 0.2. Now, that looks like they didn't do much for Chapman. So I don't understand because I guess Chapman's not – they're going to make the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah.
Is what it's looking at for the Cubs. And they made a Chapman move to help the team in the postseason, not to get to the postseason. They're already lined up to get to the postseason.
That's for October. That's not for August and September.
Right. So a lot of people were praising this stat today because he ranks the Baltimore Orioles as the biggest increase in playoff change, saying that bringing Wade Miley and Steve Pearce to the Orioles increases their playoff chance by 6.8%, higher than anyone else that made moves. But is that telling that the Orioles still have a rough chance to get the playoffs, or still have a hard path, or is it saying that these were good moves by Dan Duquette or a little of both?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of hard to read. Like this, I mean, the stat doesn't take into effect Kimbrel coming back for the Red Sox. Like, that's kind of like a trade for them. They activated him, I think, yesterday. He pitched, got the save for them last night, so he's back. Tozawa's back for them. But that's not reflected in their thing. Them bringing up Benedetti or whatever his name is, their top prospect. That's not reflected in here. That could definitely alter who makes the playoffs in the East. And I don't know. I mean, is that 6.8% that change? Is that because the Orioles added a lefty? Like, does it not matter that it's Wade Miley? Does them having a lefty in their rotation just make them that much better? I don't think so. I don't know. It's weird.
I think it's someone because, as we've said many times, the Orioles don't have a real fourth or fifth guy, and he actually is a guy who legitimately belongs in a rotation.
Yeah.
So if however many games are left, sure, you can say he's going to give you 6%. Steve Pearce and maybe his bat, when the bats are really struggling, he's got a decent bat and hits lefties really good.
Yeah.
That's going to give you another increase. But the key is that's the chance to make the playoffs. It's not talking. We want to know how much does this increase our World Series chance.
Yeah. Getting the playoffs is fine. Don't get me wrong.
That's good.
Don't get me wrong. 2014, 2012 is great, but we're obviously still missing the big thing. Yeah,
you obviously need to get to the playoffs and to have a shot to win the World Series. But I think this team's already built to get to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
September, October is going to be really fun baseball because the wild card is going to be AL East teams. And there's a good chance that those two AL East teams who play the one-game playing game then have to go play another AL East team.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fun AL East baseball, and hopefully not in Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that place is insanely loud during the regular season. This year, I think last year too, they've kind of got the crowd behind them. I would not want. I mean, I just remember watching the Joey Bats, the bat flip game last year, and it was like, it was like a college atmosphere. It was insane.
I'm a little jealous of the Blue Jays and their fan base. Not their fan base. I love that stadium is packed.
It's awesome. Good. It's good for them. That reflects
very cool.
That reflects on the fans. I think they kind of went. They were middle of the pack team. They were never very bad, but I mean they had some stuff. They were good in the 2000s. They had Roy Halladay and all that. So Carlos Delgado. They had some fun teams to watch.
But they spent money the past 2 years, and the fans have came out and said, "We'll support you." Now, sure, they've got an entire country supporting them.
That's true. That's the only thing for them to do up there now. Right. The Raptors are out.
It's not hockey season. It's not basketball season. I don't know what else you do in Toronto.
I think what is the Canadian Football League? I don't know when that starts.
I don't know, but I'm a big fan of the CFL. I really enjoyed the CFL Stallions.
See, I feel like I only know the Argonauts, and that's about it.
So as I mentioned early on the show, the Orioles made a trade, as you know by now, for Steve Pearce from Tampa Bay Rays and sent down Jonah Heim from the Frederick Keys, who will now be down in Port for the Port Charlotte Stone Crabs. And my understanding is that he is on the road now, driving down. So, as many of you know, if you listen to 336, the Heim family has been very nice and are awesome people, and they've been awesome to Section 336. And Matt and I have gotten to go hang out with them in a nice torrential rainstorm at the Keys Stadium. And joining us on the phone now is Jonah's father, Jamie. How's it going, Mr. Heim?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're all right.
We're good.
So you and I, we tweet back and forth regularly, and I think we kind of just watching, and you've mentioned before how you hold your breath when you hear that the Orioles are making moves, or you're concerned because and we've talked a lot about like the whole draft process and how you have loved the Orioles, loved Dan Duquette, love watching Jonah move in this organization. So I read today that the first phone call Jonah made was to you. How was that phone call?
It was okay. It was weird because Jonah never calls me. So, knowing that it was the trade deadline and what was going on, when the second the phone rang, I kind of knew what it was about. So I answered the phone and I went, "Oh no." And then he said, "Yeah, I just been traded to the Tampa Bay Rays." And it was kind of a very emotional, very unreal moment, I guess, because there was no indication or no anything to happen, that was going to happen. So it was just very weird and very emotional, and I was sad because I wanted to see Jonah, progress to the O's because I'm a huge fan of the Orioles, and so it was rough. I actually had to say, "Okay, I got to go. I'll call you back when I can compose myself."
So. Sounds like you might have taken it a little harder than Jonah.
Yeah, Jonah, it was funny because, he called me, and I'm like, "Oh, man, I can't. We got to get..." And it's weird because Monday night I played in this golf league, and he called me right before golf league started, and I had, 1,000 things on my mind. I'm like, oh, no. So I'm like, "Hey, let me just go. Give me a minute to process all this, and then I'll call you back." And then when I called him back, he told me he was standing in front of his locker, just staring at his locker, not knowing, he was like, "Well, what am I doing? What do I do now?"
Right.
And I said, "Well, man," I just said to him, "You know what? You pack up your stuff and you move forward. I mean, this isn't a bad thing. This is actually a really good thing. Someone traded for you. They wanted you. You were doing good enough to be a return in a deal." So
yeah, that's true.
Said, well,
Tampa thinks highly enough of Jonah that they wanted him and asked specifically for him for a guy like Steve Pearce. So for major league talent, you're being traded.
Yeah, that's what I told him. Like, look, man, he got traded for a big leaguer. It's not. Man, it's a big deal. I mean, I know he's gonna pack up. He's gonna move. He's gonna, he knows the Oriole organization. He doesn't know anybody in the Tampa Bay Ray organization. So, it's gonna be a big change for him. But he's a big boy now, and he's very composed. He's a very composed young man. And I think he'll do fine. He'll go in there. He carries himself well. You've met him, Josh. He's got a good presence about him. He carries himself well. He'll walk in that room and he'll make his he'll walk in the room and introduce himself, and it'll be right back at work for him. So, I'm kind of looking forward to it for his sake. Sometimes change is good, and we'll see in this case how it works out for him.
Yeah, it sounds like the worst part for him is that he has to make that drive down.
Yes, that was not going to be fun. Because there's a train that goes from Virginia down to Orlando, and he could have taken the train, but days notice probably would have cost him a fortune to get on the train. So that's what he said. He's like, "Oh, I got to drive now." Yep,
that's the difference of minor league ball.
Yeah, but they were really cool. They called them their equivalent of the minor league director. Ours is Brian Graham. I don't know who the Tampa Bay Ray guy is. And they called him yesterday and said, "Hey, look, just get here safe. Take 2 days if you need to." They were just really looking forward to him getting down there and seeing what he's got.
Yeah, have you had a chance to look at the strength of the Tampa Bay catchers organization? I know the Orioles have been known to have a bunch of catchers in the minors, and I'm hoping that this gives Jonah a better chance to working his way up a little quicker.
I didn't. I looked quickly at their top 30 prospects, just like the Orioles have a top 30. Jonah was on the top 30, and I looked at the Rays top 30, and there's a few catchers that there's a few at the bottom end. Nick, I don't want to even mess up his last name. He was their first-round pick the same year Jonah was drafted. I think it's Kofu. And so he's there. And then they took a kid, like, in the second round in 2015, a catcher. So, I mean, they have quite a few. It looks like they got quite a few, but we'll see. I mean, if he goes down there and does what he can do, he'll be fine. He'll move through the organization. He's a good catch-and-throw guy. We all know that.
Yes.
And as far as the bat comes, it's going to come. You know what I mean? He's a high school drafted kid out of Buffalo, New York, who played 1 month a year, So this is the most he's played in his professional career. Injured last year, 45 games total. So I'm sure he's just feeling the effects of a full season right now. And we'll see how it goes. I think the bat will come around enough that with his ability to catch and frame and block and throw, he doesn't have to hit 280. I mean, he can be a 250 guy, hit you 15 bombs, and, he's a solid, everyday receiver in the big leagues.
Yeah, well, now I think he will be winning every time he calls you about the weather.
every time. Yeah, it's it'll be cool. And you know what? And it could have been worse, right? I mean, he could have been traded out to, like, and these are no offense to these cities. It's just like a distance thing for us because we're East Coast.
Right.
Like, he could have been traded to Seattle. He could have been traded to San Diego. He could have been traded, all the way West Coast. And then, it's tough. He stayed on the East Coast, and I stayed in the AL East, which is cool, man. I'm a fan of the AL East. This is the baseball we grew up watching. It's the baseball he grew up watching. So it's good. It's good for him to stay, in the East. And, Tampa's a good spot for him, I think. They're a rebuilding organization. They got a lot of up-and-coming stars. They got a lot of, upside in that organization, and we'll see how it goes. The next chapter, this isn't the end of the book. We're still in chapter 2 only, so we'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, it's exciting. Now, for you, when we talked, you showed me that you have an Oriole tattoo.
Not going anywhere. I'm keeping that bad boy. I will always be grateful to the Orioles and the organization because they, Jonah's a 4th-round pick, so every team had the opportunity to grab him, and the Orioles finally stepped up and did. So I'm glad. I'm going to, I don't know if I'll get a Tampa Bay Ray tattoo. Maybe if Jonah makes it to the big leagues as a Ray, it might happen. But I'll wear it proud every day. I'm wearing my Orioles gear right now. I'm watching the Orioles game right now. I mean, I'm married to this organization for at least the rest of this year and into the playoffs, and I'll root hard for them, and we'll see what next year brings.
So no love lost for Dan Duquette.
No, I respect Dan. He's got a hard job. He's got to try to put a team. He's got to get a team into the playoffs and then through the playoffs, too. It's not just making it for this team. This team's got a lot of money invested in a lot of really good players. And they got to make a run. They got a lot of talent there. And, they need to make a big run into the playoffs, I think. And you got to do – when you're a player in the major leagues, when you're a player in any pro sport, I mean, it's part of the gig, right? I mean, there's always that chance you're going to get cut or you're going to get traded. I mean, it's just – so you can't blame the guy. He did what he felt was best for the organization, and no love lost at all. I will always be thankful to that man. He drafted my son, so I'm not – there's no it's just the way it goes.
No, it's a business, and now a bunch of Tampa Bay Rays fans get to learn about Jonah Heim and his defensive great work behind the plate.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. He's going to go down there. He was a little excited, and he was, he wasn't mad. He was just. I think it was more confusion and. How would you put it? Like, just the uncertainty of what's next, That's always the biggest thing, right? Like, I got to go to where I don't know nobody. So I'm sure it'll take a few days, but once he gets settled in, he'll show them down there. He's a hard worker. He'll go in there. He'll put in the work. I think the pitchers will love to throw to him, and he's good. So we'll see how it works out for him.
All right, Jamie. Well, thank you for calling in to Section 336. Today, and thank you. You've been awesome, and your family is just awesome, and some of the friendliest, nicest people we've met doing this.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it. I'm glad we got the chance to hang out, and we spent some quality time in the rain waiting for a Manny Machado bobblehead.
Yep.
I mean, we're bonded for life there, brother.
All right. Well, I'll see you around later. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right. So there we go. How cool was that?
That was neat. He seemed first off, he legitimately seems like a big Orioles fan. Not like, oh, I've watched the Orioles. It seems like he knows what he's watching. So.
No, when Jonah got drafted, he got all in.
Oh, really?
And think about when Jonah got drafted a few years ago. That's the time to get in as an Oriole fan.
Yeah. He was 2013, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was one of those years. Yeah, that's he picked a perfect time.
That's the time. That's the time to fall in love with this team.
That's
so
true.
it was awesome timing for his family. And seriously, they're the nicest people in the world. And
he seemed like a genuinely nice guy.
I sent him a message as soon as I saw the news about Jonah that saying, hey, because I know it would hit him hard.
Yeah.
As a fan of the organization.
Now, I'm looking real quick. I'm looking at the Rays minor league names. They have some fantastic names for their teams. You got the Durham Bulls in AAA, the Montgomery Biscuits, which is a fantastic AA logo. They have the Charlotte Stone Crabs, which is where Jonah is, the Bowling Green Hot Rods, and then the Hudson Valley Renegades. There's some good minor league names.
Where's Bowling Green? Is that like Kentucky?
I think it's Kentucky, yeah.
That
would be a rough place.
Yeah, I don't want to. Is that higher or lower?
That's let me see. I think it's low A.
I hope so. Hope Jonah never has to go to Bowling Green. That doesn't sound like a good place to go.
Yeah, that's low A.
All right, good.
I like their logo though.
All right, Jonah, keep it up so you don't have to be a hot rod.
Yeah, be a biscuit. I want to see him be a biscuit soon.
All right, so that we definitely talked with Jamie. We didn't talk about the Steve Pearce side of the deal much. And what does Steve Pearce coming to the Orioles mean for this team? It's huge for the fan base.
Yeah, it's a big. It's also
a guy that the fans already love.
It's a clubhouse thing too. I think he's comfortable here. The guys like him. I've heard that Buck absolutely loves him, and you can tell why. I mean, he's played. How many positions did he play for the Orioles last year?
He's Ryan Flaherty for the outfield.
He's a Ryan Flaherty with power, but he also more power.
Yeah, can sneak into the infield.
He played second. He played third. He played first. I'm sure he could play short.
Guy.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know what it means. It's not like this
I don't
team.
want Steve Pearce at first. At short. Is that what you said?
No, I'm saying I'm sure he could play there.
Thank you.
It's kind of like the rumor that Ryan Flaherty can catch. I'd like to see that. I don't want to because that either means the O's are up huge, Matt Wieters and Joseph are hurt in the same game, or they're down big.
Yeah,
so.
Remember? Yeah, we had that one game this year when Caleb got hurt,
and Pena. They had already
we got really close to. It was like we used Wieters, we used Pena, or something.
We
got really close to Flaherty.
I think it was that Yankees game,
and I was really hoping Flaherty would get back there.
Yeah,
just because I want to cross off another position.
I wanted to see how awesome Buck, because I'm sure he has that in the back of his mind if that ever happens, and I kind of wanted to see that.
I'm not a huge Flaherty fan, but I wanted that.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see. But I think Pearce. I mean, it's not like they needed. A guy, a right-handed bat. They have him. They have a good right-handed batters, but I think there's just another weapon for them. Now he can pinch hit late in the game. I think I would take him over Reimold. Maybe not in the field, but definitely at the plate.
But we've always said this team has enough bats on it that they'll be okay. But we never pictured that they might all get into a slump at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we saw that for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, you kind of figure that, Jones will be hot, and that's kind of what it was. Jones and Hardy were hitting, but Manny's been bad. Trumbo's been bad. Davis has been awful. And, Caleb's been in a slump for 100 games now.
Yeah, and I don't think we made this move if Joey Rickert wasn't hurt.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way they make that.
We needed another outfielder. Mm-hmm. We were bringing up Alvarez and Borbin.
Yeah. Neither of those guys. That wasn't the answer, no. And I think they knew that. And so I'm not sure. I think
we'll see those guys in September.
Oh yeah, they'll be back up. But I hate to say it, but I think the Rickert injury happened at a good time because if his injury happens today, it's a whole different.
Bourbon.
Exactly. Yeah. What was that outfield in one game in New York? I think they had Julio, Bourbon, Reimold, and Flaherty in the outfield, and that's like. That's either a spring training roster or that's like a late 2009 outfield. Right. That was not fun to watch. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that move doesn't happen if Rickard catches that ball in New York and doesn't jam his thumb.
Yeah. Well, I think it was worse than a jam. Like,
Well, yeah, well that's what it seemed
like.
like.
Injury.
Yeah. I think I'm not sure. I guess Trevor Story has a similar injury and he's out for the year. He got surgery on it. So.
Anytime that it's a finger injury, that's like longer than like a day, it sounds horrible.
Yeah,
it sounds like one of the worst things you can have.
That's very true.
So, but yeah, I think Steve Pearce definitely makes this team better. And not just to get to the playoffs, but a help in the postseason.
I mean, he's been crushing left-handed pitching. He's doing pretty well against right-handed pitching too. I wouldn't mind seeing him, maybe get some at bats versus righties over Pedro Alvarez. If he's DHing.
Now, is this move Dan Duquette admitting that he made a mistake, going with Reimelt instead of Pearce in the offseason? I mean, we could have gotten. Signed Pearce for $3 or $4 million in the offseason. Instead, we went to Reimelt because he was like $1 million or something like that with arbitration.
I'm not sure if it was him admitting it's a mistake. I mean, I'm sure Tampa didn't think they were going to be this bad. I mean, I remember sitting in here for the Birdland Radio and reading that people were picking Tampa to win the division, or at least finish top 2, maybe make a wild card.
Yeah, they were supposed to be very good.
So I'm sure they thought that he was going to, he could be kind of a catalyst on that team and lead them to the playoffs. Things obviously went very bad down there. Right. I don't think anyone up here even thought that they were that good. I don't know if it's him saying that he made a mistake, but I think he saw a chance to make the team better, and he said, "Hey, this guy's a familiar face. He knows the team, he knows the field, he knows Buck." And I think he's going to do better. Last year he struggled, I think, because he played way too much. He's one of those guys who, it's like a basketball player. If he's playing 40 minutes a game, he's not going to be that good. If you have him in there, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes. If he plays, how many games are left? 60. Give him 40 games. So he's not tiring himself out and.
Yeah, and he's
get into a rhythm.
He's had injury problems in his career and this season. I don't think the Orioles are in a different place now if they started the season with Pearce and Rickard on the bench.
Yeah.
Over Reimelt and Rickard.
I agree with that.
I think they're the same either way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's all injury based. Now let's get to the other trade. Ariel Miranda to Seattle. We were talking about Jonah having to drive down south. Ariel, I hope he doesn't have to drive out to Seattle or Portland or wherever their minor league ball club is.
I think they said he was going to get a chance to fill Miley's spot in the rotation. So I don't know. He may just be going straight to Seattle.
No way.
I thought
he's playing. He's been playing for the Bay Sox.
I know.
He's been starting.
I can try and find it,
but there's no way. I mean, I guess no. Seattle playing decent baseball?
I just read 57 minutes ago. Manager Scott Cervais, I don't know if that's his name, just acquired left-handed pitcher Ariel Miranda will be recalled from Tacoma to start Thursday versus Boston. So he's starting tomorrow.
All right,
Thursday.
All right, well that's really cool.
Good for him.
Yeah, we were talking about Jonah and how it's cool for an organization to want you. It's really cool for an organization to want you and bring you straight to the big leagues.
We want you, and how about you come help us beat the Red Sox?
We saw that 2 innings of relief you pitched for the Orioles, which he did fine.
In Seattle, too.
Was it in
Seattle? It was in Seattle, yeah.
He did good.
Did all right.
So I don't think he gave up any runs.
No, I think he gave up like 3 or 4.
Oh, did he? All right, never mind.
I know, but he did have 4 Ks, so they were either hitting it hard or they weren't touching it, so... Yeah, well, I mean, good for him. And I'll tell you what, I'll be the biggest Ariel Miranda fan on Thursday night if he can beat the Red Sox.
Yeah. No, and
I don't think that.
I like the kid. I enjoyed when he came up for the one game.
Yeah.
That was through that stretch where every day we had a different minor league relief pitcher.
Yeah, that was. I think they got swept in Seattle that series, and so they obviously liked him or they saw something they liked. So, like I said, good luck.
I was pretty sure that week of a different reliever every day was Buck trying to show Dan, I've got no one.
Hey, give me something here.
I'm trying everyone. No one works. Get me someone.
I need someone to work with.
And he got Wade Miley. Left-hander, 4 or 5 starter. But key is he's actually a rotation guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that you can trust. He's a high 4 right now, ERA.
Yeah.
Like 4.90.
4.98, yeah.
4.98. So just under 5, but he can give you innings. I think he went 7 innings against the Orioles, 6 or 7. This weekend, his past 3 outings have been really good. He went against the Cubs.
I think he had 9 Ks, 1 hit.
Yeah, and that was in like 6 or 7 innings.
And I mean, that's at Wrigley and versus that Cubs team. So it's not like he's pitching in a big ballpark there. And I mean, they had their full lineup out there. So yeah, he was. I think in July he's actually been pretty good. I don't know his stats right now, but I think July was easily his best month. So
he gives up the long ball.
Yeah.
but all of our pitchers do.
Yeah, that's a Baltimore thing.
That's we're watching Dylan Bundy now, and so far he's made it through 4 innings without giving up the long ball yet.
Without giving up a hit, too. So this is eerily similar to last start, where he
Well,
went through 5 and didn't.
Now you've done it. I'm calling a home run in the 5th inning.
You think so?
Thanks to your little jinx.
Nice little. It'll be a hanging curve.
All right.
Or hanging changeup.
Because Matt Wieters is behind the plate, and then everyone will freak out that Matt Wieters calls too many high changeups.
That annoys me more than anything is how just the way that people beat up on Wieters for his defense and plate calling and pitch calling and
to
stuff
say
like
that
that.
they know he calls a bad game.
Yeah,
you don't know the pitcher.
Everyone and their mother on Orioles Twitter seems to know that Matt Wieters, calls a terrible game and doesn't play good defense well.
And they always know what pitcher is feeling what pitch and what pitcher is comfortable with this in this situation.
Yep.
It's
that's one of the weirdest things I've seen about Orioles Twitter is that everyone seems
so
to
negative.
know. Yeah. Everyone seems to know everything about Matt Wieters and his defense and play and his pitch calling. So that bugs me a lot.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll see.
Because clearly Caleb Joseph is not a everyday catcher.
Yeah. That he's made that pretty obvious this year.
He doesn't help our lineup. Sure that by some fluke the pitcher ERA is lower when he's behind the plate.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything with him.
I agree. I mean, because
look at the matchups. Look at how often he's back there versus Matt, who's back there all the time.
Yeah, he's back there 6 out of every 7 games, and he's making. Maybe Caleb stops some of the balls that get by Wieters, but Caleb's not throwing the guys out at the rate that Wieters has been.
Right.
So, he threw out Desmond 2 innings ago, last inning.
And I'll give it. Wieters has been a little banged up lately.
Yeah. The last few weeks have been rough for him, but
right.
That whole catching position is kind of taken. Wieters was hot for those few weeks, and then he's kind of come back down to earth. But overall, I still like all our catchers, and we talked about it with Jonah's dad. How the Orioles, it's like they just breed catchers. It seems like every catcher they draft turns into a decent minor or major league player. Or that's what we've seen so far, and the guys in the minors are doing well. So
right, and that was the interesting thing with Jonah is Jonah, like Caleb, they always praised his defense.
Mm-hmm. The bats will come.
Right, and they say the bats will come, and then with Francisco, they say he's got the bats.
The defense, hopefully.
And then they're like, it's hard to teach defense.
Yeah.
And there's talk of him moving positions.
Yeah, I remember that last year, and then this year he comes out and he makes the futures team, and I think he's played pretty well. I haven't seen him play this year, but
he's done well offensively. Again, defensive struggles.
It's just, say you move Francisco, where are you going to move him? Can't move him to first because there's a log jam there too.
Right.
Is he athletic enough to move to the outfield?
I think you look at him as a second base, third base.
Okay.
And you figure J.J. Hardy goes away in a few years, and
so
then you shift Manny to short.
Move Chance.
You can move Scope to third. If you need it, he's got the arm for third.
Yeah, I know. They have a guy. I think there's a guy down in Frederick too who's mashing, and he can play. He's a pretty good third baseman too. I'm not sure of his name, but kind of seems like a good problem to have.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and it's why when we were talking about the trade deadline, Francisco's name was on that list because he's having a good season.
Yeah, guys want him, much like Jonah Heim. There are major league teams out there who see something in this guy and say, we can work with him, or we can make him into a first baseman. We can definitely do something with him.
So this weekend, less than 24 hours, we were out of first place for a little bit. We were half game back between that night game and afternoon game in Toronto. Right now, as we record this and as the Orioles are playing, we are 1 game up on Boston and Toronto. Toronto's the guy that scares you, right? Not Boston.
Toronto definitely scares me. Boston's always going to be there. I said earlier that I'm not really worried about them, but they have the guys. They can go on a run. We've seen it before. But I think if there's a team that's going to go on a run this year, I think it's going to be Toronto, like we've seen them in the last few years. Like I said, because their home field advantage, just how they play there. And their bats. Joey Bats has been garbage this year, and I'm just terrified to see him go on a streak for about 2 weeks where he rips off about 8 or 9 home runs.
Hoping for an injury.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he already had one.
A worse one.
They wanted to keep him out a little longer.
Yeah, they still say that he's now injury prone because of that throw last year.
Oh, when he tried to throw out Delman. That's karma. Good for him. Toronto scares me. The Boston, the thing with them, I think they have like 38 road games left or something like that. They have a ton of games left on the road.
So do the Orioles.
The Orioles, but the Orioles they also have, I think it's 20. It was like 25 home games left. I mean, if they win like 18 games at home, and then if they can win like 18 of their last 30 on the road, I think that puts them right around like 93 or 94 wins. So that should put them in good position. I think that's easily doable for them to win a majority of their home games and play about 500 on the road, which is a little better than what they're at now. So
Right. We're at 59 wins now.
Yeah, okay.
So you figure we need about 35 wins to lock up this division.
Yeah, and also I know 2 of those road games are in DC. I'm not sure if I'll count those as road games just because of how the Orioles have played there in the past and the way that the fans, go there. We'll probably have more fans there for a game than we will at Camden Yards.
Right,
for one of these games.
Yeah, and unless Detroit or Houston really picks up steam, you're looking at the playoffs coming all AL East.
Yeah,
which brings back that whole discussion of the AL East being the toughest division, where people like to say it's not, but when it comes down, there's close races in that division every year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I obviously kind of stopped paying attention towards the end of last year. I'm not sure how much the Blue Jays won the division by. But I mean, I don't think we're going to see a team run away like the Orioles did in 2014, where they won by, was that like 10? It was like 10 games, 10 and a half games. It was something.
I thought it was like 6 or something.
Oh, was it? It may
know.
have been. But I don't think we're going to see, that much margin in between the winner.
No,
and
we might not.
place.
We might not clinch until the last couple of days of the season.
Yeah. What did they clinch, like 2 weeks before or something like that?
Yeah.
They had a lot of time. That was awesome. That was perfect.
All right, let's get to a little 3 up, 3 down with the 2 of us.
It's now time for 3 up and 3 down.
All right, so this is the little game we play where we say what we have a positive and a negative. Obviously, there's not 3 of us this week. It's just Eric and I, with Matt and Bert still gone. They will be back on the 19th. So 2 weeks. We got some great guests next week. Next week, we're going to have Chris Stoner from BSL, Baltimore Sports and Life, and Glenn Clark from Glenn Clark Radio will be joining us. And then the week after that, Matt and Bert will be back in the studio. Matt actually gets back from Africa on Monday or Tuesday.
I didn't even know that he was out. I kind of just noticed that he wasn't on Twitter. I was like, oh, is he protesting something? Did he get a new account? And then I think I read somewhere that he was in Africa.
Yeah, he's in Tanzania teaching English.
Wow.
I got to text message him this morning to tell him about Brian Mattis' start in Chicago.
That's awesome.
And if you know, Matt has been leading the charge for the hashtag Mattis for Starter. So he was a little disappointed when he got DFA'd, and it was very fun that he went to Chicago and then got blown out.
Yeah.
And DFA'd again.
I agree.
Man, he got DFA'd now, 3 times?
Something like that,
No, we traded him. We didn't DFA him. We traded him.
Yeah, he was traded, but then he was DFA'd.
Atlanta DFA'd him, and now Chicago has DFA'd him.
Yep.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well.
All right, so my positive for today, I decided I'd mix in a little football because the Ravens had their first practice yesterday, but I don't care about football yet. All these people trying to hype up football now and the Ravens, that's great. It's practice. Get to me in September when the games mean something. Mm-hmm. I don't care about practice. I don't care who gets hurt now. If it's not a season ending. I don't care what Joe looks like in practice. What I care about is that the Ravens showed off that they went back to grass at M&T Bank. And I think that's a huge win. I think that playing on turf always sucks. It looks like it's always slick. It's never comfortable. You got to somehow get your shoes to grip in torn tires. It's never fun. I remember with Ray Lewis, when he would do his dance, he would tear up the grass from the ground. And then when they switched to turf, they'd bring out a little square of grass. And that just sucks. So I'm excited that the Ravens have gone back to grass. And that's all I care about the Ravens.
I did see that. I was at a wedding at M&T Bank, and I think it was the beginning of April, and they hadn't put any of the grass down yet.
So it was dirt?
It was not even dirt. They were laying the piping underneath for like the drainage system. So that was kind of cool to see. I think I tweeted a picture and I said, well, this doesn't look too good. It doesn't look like they're ready to play yet. But yeah, I saw the pictures. It looks good. I know people are mad that they took off that they're not going to have the Maryland flag, that symbol.
The
shield. Yeah. And I guess people are upset about that, but
I get it. The shield's an older logo.
Yeah,
it
looks cool. It looks neat, but people need something to be angry about, and that's what they picked for today.
Exactly.
So,
it's the internet.
Exactly. So my I guess positive is
It better not be that Justin Tucker hit a 69-yard field goal because, again, it's practice. I don't care.
It was not. It is that the Orioles were able to make it through the trade deadline by keeping their big prospects, because they obviously don't have many, but that they were able to keep their big name prospects, Trey Mancini, Chance Cisco, and Christian Walker, guys like that.
Really, you're still keeping Christian Walker as a top prospect?
Hey, he's playing down there. He's hitting well.
Isn't he a bust? I mean, we don't want to tell other teams because we want to trade him, but
I don't know if he's a bust.
We've had holes in our outfield. He could have came up.
Yeah, that's tough for him because he's still very new to the position. He's obviously
not playing outfield.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's looked better as of late. I guess Christian Walker doesn't have the arm that Trumbo has, because Trumbo's shown it off a few times, but he does not look pretty out there fielding fly balls. No, I just thought it was cool, or I thought it was good that they could keep Mancini and Cisco and guys like that. It stinks that they had to ship someone out, Miranda and Jonah Heim, but it's I think that core Mancini I think can definitely help the team in the next few years. And same thing with Cisco, like we said, if they can find a spot for him, that would be awesome, and kind of glue him into this lineup somewhere in the future.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, especially when I think I would say even more of a positive is the fact that we were able to use our farm system to bring in two guys.
Yeah, we're not overpaying for Wade Miley with cash.
Exactly. When we have a poor farm system, we were still able to use it, even though we've been using it every year. Duquette's made a move every year he's been here.
Yeah. Yeah, they were able to trade two guys from a weak farm system and get two major league players.
Yeah, two guys that are going to make an impact.
Two guys are going to contribute. Yeah, they're going to contribute tomorrow and Thursday when they play. So, good. Yeah, I like that.
My negative for this week is trading Jonah Heim. Not because I don't like the trade. I think it's a great trade for getting Steve Pearce. I think adding Steve Pearce is a great addition. But just because it made me realize that trades are real people and not baseball cards or players in a video game. That they're people with families. And I'm excited for Jonah, and I'll be watching what he does down there.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of, I texted Trey when I heard that, Trey Mancini, when I heard that the O's got Miley, and it wasn't announced who they traded yet, and I just texted him and said, tell me you're still an Oriole. And he said, as far as I know, yes. Yeah, so.
Right, because he got hurt, last week?
Who?
Didn't Trey, injure his hand or something?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think he hurt he got pulled out in mid-game, and they didn't really advertise why he was pulled out, so everyone assumed trade. And
I didn't know that.
It was just arm soreness or something.
Oh, good. Well, yeah. Yeah. So I kind of see where you're coming from there.
All right, what's your negative for this week?
My negative has been that the Red Sox are finding their late game, heroics. And I know I just said a few minutes ago.
Pedroia.
Yeah, Justin Pedroia the other night. Mookie Betts last night. I'm going to bed and I see that the Seattle's winning, and Steve Cishek, he gave it up Sunday night against the Cubs, just laid one right over the middle to Mookie Betts. Because those are two games that the Orioles need, and the last thing I need is for the Red Sox to suddenly catch fire and find that winning way. And
yep,
I will not be happy if I see a Poppy playing in October. The only thing I want to see him playing is golf.
I don't understand Poppy. He's on steroids this year, right?
100%.
And
100%.
We're just all looking the other way on Poppy, right?
Mm-hmm. He has nothing. He has nothing to lose if he gets caught.
Right.
He goes, I'm retired anyway. Whatever, I'm done.
Right.
I'm gonna collect all my gifts people are giving me,
right.
and I'm leaving.
He's not getting into the Hall of Fame either way.
I don't think so.
No, because he's been on a steroid list years ago.
He also plays half the game.
Right. He's not the greatest DH.
No, so, I don't.
But yeah, he's totally on steroids, and we're just praising him as I've never seen an old man turn his season around and have the best career when he's 100 years old.
Yeah,
There's a reason we've never seen that.
Exactly. Every time they say there's only been one person past age 40 to put up these numbers, it's Barry Bonds. Oh,
right.
What do you?
Find
what's the common denominator there?
Exactly.
There's something going on. So whatever, I just love that he hates that people talk about it when he did test positive in that article from 2005.
We're supposed to pretend like that never happened.
Yeah.
And we're just supposed to pretend that he just started hitting the ball well.
Yeah. But don't worry, because Red Sox fans will be the first people to tell you that Chris Davis tested positive for steroids when Adderall clearly isn't a steroid.
Right.
But hey, what can you do?
I do not understand the love for Poppy.
I don't either. And if this was happening in the late 1990s, sure, of course that would be normal. Mark McGwire was doing it. I was watching YouTube highlights the other night of him hitting 70 home runs in a season, and then people thought that was normal. 40-year-old hitting like this and playing like this is not normal.
No, it's not normal.
Not even close.
Is his love for by the Boston fan base, did it come from from the Boston Marathon and him grabbing the mic and saying,
dropping the F-bomb?
This is our effing city.
It could have been. Because
if you do that in Baltimore, everyone's going to attach and say, "Look, he loves Baltimore. He's now our favorite guy."
I'm not. I hate to say it. The guy's been huge in the playoffs for them when they need it. He had that grand slam against the Tigers a few years back, and he's always played well in their comeback series and stuff like that. So that's obviously grown his folklore down or up in Boston. But I don't know. I'm not too happy about it, but we'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, let's do a little ball bag before we get out of here.
You're just a ball bag, my friend. Hey, ball bag, how you doing? What's your name again? It's ball bag. I'm posh.
All right, so ball bags where I kind of put in some topics that we might not get to, but earlier in the show, and gives us a chance to kind of come back around in no order. So what I've got in there first is Dylan Bundy. Dylan Bundy, now counting tonight's start, has had 2 unbelievable starts. You can't pull a guy when he's having a perfect game, right?
I think if a guy's had arm and shoulder and elbow history, like Bundy, I think you can.
See,
He's not getting close to 100 pitches tonight, and he shouldn't.
No. I guess I lean more towards the side that I don't think there's enough stats that say, oh, well, if you throw 80 pitches instead of 70, you're going to get hurt, or if overuse. I feel like if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt either way. Yeah, whether you're on it or not.
I also think that, Buck's the guy he's trying to get a team win. I'm sure he would love a Dylan Bundy, complete game, but if that doesn't put them in a good position to win, I don't think he's going to go ahead and do it for the team.
Yeah, and definitely one run is not enough. Even though your Bundy's pitching perfect, you've got to score more than one run.
Oh, especially against these guys.
It's definitely been a struggle that our bats haven't shown up yet.
I agree.
All right. So this weekend, Friday, starts the Olympics in Rio. Do you care about the Olympics?
I just want to watch how bad they are. I heard a few weeks ago.
So you follow more of the storyline of how bad Rio is.
I'll watch the
buildings.
Yeah. I'll watch the basketball. I'm a basketball fan, so I'll watch that. But I guess I'll watch Phelps swim too. He's always fun and entertaining. But I don't care about any of the other stuff.
You want to watch the sailboat races in poop-filled water?
No. I'll catch those highlights on SportsCenter or something. But no, it's just with all the stories coming out now, it seems like it's terrible down there.
I don't understand why you would ever have the Olympics anywhere except for London, the U.S., maybe China.
Yeah.
Why would you go to any of these small countries? I know it brings in a bunch of money. You build a stadium that'll never get used again.
Yeah,
and you build everything shoddy.
There's been a few documentaries on how people think the Olympics coming to their city and their place is great for the economy, but it's terrible. It's like, I just remember in Sochi when they did the Winter Olympics, they were like, there was videos of them picking up all the homeless dogs and cats and shipping them out of town and stuff like that. That's the stuff that people don't see. And it's terrible for the economy and the places, because then you have these huge arenas and events and buildings that never get used again. Like you said, they turn into big homeless shelters pretty much.
Right. Or if you do it in Europe or in America, at least they're still being used.
Yeah, but why why does China need a building that holds 10 Olympic-sized swimming pools? What are those ever going to get used for again?
Sure.
So, but I agree with you. If you're going to have it in have it somewhere in a Europe country that's developed, or have it in America. These places, Rio, it's going to be a disaster, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much we'll now see as it being a disaster. We kept being told Russia would be a disaster, and it worked out fine.
Yeah.
I keep hearing talk about how they want to bring it to Washington, D.C.
Oh.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Absolutely.
And I think I will just go away for 3 weeks.
The Metro breaks during a Nats or a Caps playoff game.
Right.
How are they going to get 100,000? You got to think how many people are coming in. Like you
Exactly.
said, I'll leave my house if someone wants to rent it for those 3 weeks. Come on
gone.
in.
I'm gone if that ever happens.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see if the intern mic is working now. I feel bad whenever I have Dan come and fill in. I always screw up his mic. So is your mic working in there? It's not, is it? So Dan, just come on in here. Come on into the studio, and we'll take care of you. Because use Eric's mic, and if you can just give us your little update, corrections, all the type of stuff Noah normally does.
Well, I just like to point out real quick. Have you ever met somebody who pays attention to the Olympic stars when it's not the Olympic season?
I don't know. I think people here really praise Michael Phelps and his,
I think he's about the only one.
Girlfriend who used to be a boy.
So when it comes to the Olympics, I think the only thing that matters is everybody has their sport that they like to watch, and that's all they do. They just watch the sport they like. They don't pay attention to everything else.
What's your favorite summer sport? Summer Olympic sport?
My favorite to watch, personally, is the long-distance swimming. So when they swim, it's like a mile and a half, 2 miles, or something like that. I can't even imagine having to swim that far. So when you watch them with their speed difference, from the beginning to fast, from the beginning to the end, it's phenomenal. It's one of my favorites to watch.
I guess I got to go with the traditional 50-yard dash, just a straight running.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to watch Usain Bolt just absolutely,
right. Just do things that Americans
people.
cannot do.
Yeah, he stops running at like 60 meters or whatever. I'd say basketball probably is my favorite, just because, I mean, the last few years America has just stomped on everyone. And it's fun.
When you send a bunch of NBA players.
Exactly, yeah. I think I read today, that they said there's 144 players playing in the Olympics for all the countries, and I think 71 or someone like that are NBA players or have played in the NBA at some point. So
I never understand that. I don't understand why basketball, hockey, why these mainstream sports are in the Olympics. Because if you're good enough to beat another team, you're gonna work your way up to the NBA. There's better basketball in the NBAs than anything you'll see in the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I know basketball in Europe has gotten a lot better. I mean, there are some guys who go and play over in Greece and Italy and stuff like that, and they pass over NBA contracts to do that. So, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm almost not surprised that 100% of the players haven't played in the NBA at some point or are on a team now.
See, for me, basketball is not so much of the Olympics sport watching, because you look even back in the 90s. The United States has just dominated basketball ever since.
Right, so the dream team.
So for me to watch basketball, I'd much rather prefer to watch WNBA over the Olympics, just for that fact that it doesn't seem like real basketball to me.
But don't worry, we all get to pretend we care about soccer.
That's true. Isn't rugby making its first appearance in the Summer Olympics this year?
No
or has
clue.
that been tossed out?
I don't care about the Olympics so much.
Okay, well, I'm failing on my job as an intern here.
Yeah, you're not supposed to present questions. Anything else?
So, Josh, you're right with Bowling Green. It is in Kentucky.
Good. That sounds like a horrible place.
So that was that doesn't sound like a good place at all. I think is Wade Miley supposed to still pitch on Thursday night against the Rangers?
Mm-hmm. That's what I saw. That's what I read today.
Oh, I don't know. I saw Friday.
So yeah, I think Buck said that he's projected to pitch on Thursday. So I think, this is the last time that the Orioles are going to see the Rangers until playoffs. So I think that Wade Miley coming with his first appearance with the Orioles and then also last game playing the Rangers, I think that's going to be a very big outing, not only for Wade but also for the Orioles itself. So I think that Thursday night's game is very important, and be fun to watch what happens.
Yeah, right now MLB.com has Gallardo starting. I can't see that happening. It's got to be Wade Miley.
Yeah, I think I saw Rock or someone tweet that they did switch it up, because I think Friday it was originally that was going to be it was going to be
Tillman?
Miley. It was going to be Miley versus Miguel Gonzalez on Friday when they play the White Sox.
Ooh,
so
I forgot Miguel Gonzalez is coming back to town. That'll be fun.
Yeah, he's going to throw an absolute gem.
I hope not.
Probably not, but
with
our track record, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm going to the game on Wednesday and Thursday this week.
I'll be there Wednesday.
Yep, that'll be interesting to see how Gausman does tomorrow night against this Rangers lineup. So, good luck to him, but we'll see if he's up for the challenge.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Thanks for filling in for Noah. Like always, you do a better job than the world's worst intern. Not that that's hard.
Well, best intern.
He got a full-time job with some campaign now. I think Democratic campaign, Senate. I don't know what he's doing. Saw him. He's really excited.
There's his first hit, I think.
In the 6th inning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5Ks though.
Yeah, that's all right. There's 2 outs. As long as if he gets through this inning, it'll be very impressive. I mean, either way, he's impressive, and it's been fun to watch him start.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, like I said, he's taking some big steps. So good for him. I think Wieters is out there right now. Hey, come on, take a deep breath, walk around the mound, because he doesn't want what happened to happen last week. So.
Yeah. No home run. Let's just get out of this inning.
Yep.
I mean,
don't dwell on it.
He hasn't had any deep pitch counts or anything. He's been doing very well this game.
Yeah, very encouraging to see.
Yeah, because guess what? That's your starting. Forget about this year. Next year, he's your number 1, number 2 guy. Hem, Tillman, Gosman. Those are your top 3.
Absolutely.
You need Bundy to perform well and stay healthy. All right. Thank you, Eric, from joining us. Again, people should go onto Twitter and follow you at Barstool RDT. The letters RDT. And go ahead and head to Mothers or Section336.com and pick up your Trumbo Make Baltimore Great Again shirts. That's probably what I'll be wearing to the O's game tomorrow night. Eric, what's going on with Barstool and your podcasts and stuff? What's up with all that?
Kind of taking a hiatus from the podcast. We may pick that back up soon. Just a lot of busy stuff going on. But, I mean, you can just head over to barstoolsports.com. I'm covering the Orioles every week. We got some guys covering the Nats. We have a whole baseball kind of site now, so we're kind of covering everything.
We don't care about the Nats.
I don't care about them either. But if someone happens to be listening,
unless something bad happens to Bryce Harper, I always enjoy those stories.
Yeah, those are always fun. But if someone wants to pay attention to little brother and figure out how they're going to choke in the playoffs like they always do, then can head over there. But yeah, like I said, barstoolsports.com. We have our whole baseball site, so check it out.
And you can go cheer you on in like 2 weeks at the Frederick Keys media game.
Yeah, August 13th. It's a Saturday. I'll be out there. Hopefully, gonna try and just play some base hits. I don't want to show anyone up and go yard or anything. So we'll see. It should be a fun time.
All right, that is awesome. Thank you, Eric. Again, thanks for joining us. Next week, we will have Chris from BSL and Glenn from Glenn Clark Radio. And then in 2 weeks, Matt and Bert will be back in studio from their travels. Head on over to section336.com and check out the podcast. We don't blog anymore, but you should check out UtahStreetReport.com for all your article writing. Whenever we do get a chance to write, we get posts over there. You can find knee-jerk reactions that I participated in over there on both trades, as well as all the episodes of Section 336 and a bunch of other really good Oriole write-ins from people who are way smarter than me over at UtahStreetReport.com. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you later. Let's go O's.
Section 336 is a affiliate of 24/7 Networks. Find Section 336 on UtahStreetReport.com.